I'm just here with Michael Attwood. You have his tract and it tells a story, but I'd like you to get to know Michael a little bit better. So I'm going to sit here and Michael and I are going to talk a little bit about his history and what he's been through just to give you a little bit more understanding and actually get to meet him. So anyway, that's where we're at, Mike. Tell me about yourself, first of all. Give me what was your background, let's say your childhood? Where'd you grow up?
My name is Michael Attwood, and I grew up in Chalmers, Ohio, and I was just average kid.
Yeah,
And just when I got into high school, I ran with the popular partying crowd. I did multiple drugs, and I drank alcohol on a regular basis. I
right.
was too concerned about partying and being cool to be worried about anything else. And later on, I got involved in the fireworks business, and my dad liked the fact that I was learning a lot about the business and about the income
Right.
coming in and fast money. So we went into business together with him putting up the capital to secure the building and to get this started merchandise.
Right.
We quickly started making some fast and serious money. We would have lines of customers for hours each day, from about 2 weeks before the 4th and for about a week before New Year's. I was only about 21
Right.
at the time when we had the first store, and it felt absolutely amazing bringing that fast money. There was no foreseeable end to the success of our business, and we're doing so well that within a couple of years we opened up a much larger store, and with it, making twice as much money with the two stores running wide open.
Right.
The
Right.
success of the business and the income was amazing, and it
Wow.
seemed never ending.
Wow.
I felt powerful, like I was on top of the world. I felt my future was set for life, and I was enjoying all the success offered me at a young age.
How was the relationship between your mom and your dad at the time?
Not good. My dad would often have affairs with my mom and make me go along with his plan by blackmailing me.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What did I know that there's a lot that led up to your accident.
Yes.
What were the things that stimulated that?
Um, he suffered a heart attack and admitted through quadruple bypass surgery, barely. And then when he got out of the hospital a couple months later, he approached me and told me about his plans to leave my mom in a very abusive tone. He told me he was about his plans to leave my mom. If I didn't go along
Right.
with this plan, he was going to disown me and I would have nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you react to all that?
I lost control, got into my van and got into a horrible accident
Right.
on April 1st of '97. I
Okay.
was speeding down the road, the brakes locked up on me, and I flew into a ditch, flipping my van 3 times. I flew out the driver's side window, flying about 30 feet and severely impacting a tree with my head.
Wow. So if when that happened, what did they take you to the hospital? How did they what happened after the accident? How'd they get you to where you had to go and what happened in the hospital?
I was flown to the trauma hospital by helicopter. The brain injury, TBI, traumatic brain injury, is so severe that I was not expected to survive the night. And the doctors that examined me thought that if I did survive, I would be in a nursing home for the rest of my life.
Wow. Wow. How was well, apparently things worked. What was the process in the hospital and your recovery?
It was extremely difficult for the first few months. I could not move my right side an inch in the direction, and it was very limited, very difficult, very hard to.
Was your head, you mentioned to me that your head was in a brace and
Yeah,
that your mouth
yeah,
was wired shut?
yeah. My head, while I was in a coma, my head was in a halo brace to reduce the swelling.
Right.
And I had broke my jaw in 3 places, and I had to have my jaw wired shut for about 2 months.
So did they feed you intravenously then?
Yeah, yep. I had a tube in my stomach, and that's how I was fed.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did it take you before you began to come back around and sense things?
I was when in the later stages of my coma, I was able to hear everything,
Right.
but I was unable to respond.
Okay.
I was aware of what was going on around me,
Right.
but I could not move anything.
Was that frustrating for you?
Yeah, yes, extremely.
Oh, that'd have to be tough.
Yeah.
So that lasted. What happened when you finally began to get the ability to move or say something? What happened at that point?
I had to have two nurses. I had to be lifted in and out of bed by a hoist, and I had to wear diapers for about 2 months. And on numerous occasions, I had to lie in my own waist for hours. And when they were lifting me in and out of bed by a hoist, I was getting in out of bed by. I was being lifted in. Being lifted out of bed to go get something to eat, and then shortly spend a little time in the cafeteria or wherever in the hospital, and then going back to bed.
Okay. When you came out of your coma, you mentioned to me that you began to see things, but it was very blurry, and there was somebody in the room with you.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I just I could sense everything that was going on around me. But
Right.
I was able to see also, but I was not able to move anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I was able to see, but I was like a blank stare.
Right. Who was the person in your room with you that you knew was there, but you didn't recognize him?
There was the first when I was in the coma in the beginning stages of the coma. Nurse would come in and poke my toe with something like a screwdriver,
Right.
and I was unable to respond.
Right.
And it hurt a bit severely. And until the later stages when she would come in and poke me, I was able to respond one time, and I responded in a very inappropriate way.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
And
As you came out, though, you said your mom was
yes.
in the room with you.
Yes. When I first woke up, when I first was aware I could function somewhat, I saw this woman sitting across from my bed in a chair.
Right.
That I did not recognize. It took me about 10 days to realize it was my mother.
Wow.
I can't tell you how relieved I felt when I remembered who she was.
Wow. In that time period, did you hear from your dad at all?
No.
Okay.
My dad, because of because he felt guilty for contributing to my accident,
Right.
and he flew back home.
I
to
got
Ohio.
you. Okay.
And
Tell me about your rehab now. You woke up, you recognize your mom, that's come around. What's the next stages as you begin to come out of your coma? What begins to happen, and what's the process with the hospital helping you and that kind of thing?
when I first came out of the coma, I had when I started therapy about 4 months after the initial injury date, April 1st of '97, I had to have two nurses on stools that moved my leg for me for about 2 months. It was extremely discouraging.
They did what?
They would move my leg for me.
Oh, okay.
They were on stools that rolled, moving my leg for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened with that in that process?
After I was able to after I went through the early stages of them moving my leg for me for about 2 months, then my brain the brain can heal itself. It can restore itself somewhat, and I was able to move, to walk on my own.
Did you have to learn to talk and eat again and stuff and all that?
Yeah, I did. I broke my jaw in 3 places, and I had, like I was saying before, I had to be fed intravenously, and then I was able to eat, but I had to start off really slow
Right.
with soft food.
Okay. All right. How long were you in the hospital with that initial recovery process?
I was in the hospital for a total of 7 months.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then once you got through with that, you went into rehab then?
Yeah.
Right.
Then I started therapy at Brooks Rehab, and I had to go through therapy down there for about a year and a half, on and off. And I also spent some time in therapy at Jack Sports Rehab.
You said that was about a year and a half?
Yep. Yeah, on and off.
So the therapy now, what did you lose as far as operable abilities from your body? What happened to your body that you needed the therapy on?
I had to undergo physical therapy for my leg and then occupational therapy for my arm because my arm was curled up across my chest like a claw.
Right.
And that's because the tone is where the brain sends a message to the muscle to flex all the time.
Right.
And you do not want that. The brain is confused.
So it kept your arm locked
Yes.
in a position. Part of your therapy then was to work that out.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
To release release the tone. So,
Okay. Same thing with your leg.
Yeah. Yeah.
How, and now let me ask you, how much mobility do you have in your arm and your leg today?
I believe that my leg is on a scale from 1 to 10 is like a 7 or 8, and I believe my arm is a lot looser, and it's becoming more functional.
Right.
And I believe it's on the same scale from like a 5 or 6.
Okay. What was the significant thing that happened during your rehab that you've shared with me that changed your life?
I was at home one evening around February 15th of '99, and I saw an advertisement on TV for a book called Power for Living.
Right.
And I was inspired to get the book, and when I read it, it changed my attitude about life. It gave me some much needed hope for the future. I then became reborn. I invited Jesus Christ to come into my heart.
Right.
And when I did, it gave me a new focus and a vision for the future.
Did you know when you read that book that something had happened to you when you
Yes.
accepted him into your life?
Yes. I became much more aware of sin. It was like a night and day.
Were you ever aware of sin before that?
No.
Okay, so it was just part of your life,
Yeah.
but when you accepted Christ,
Yeah.
it opened your
My
eyes. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. From that point to today, what does Christ mean to you then? Because of what happened that day with getting that book, that was a divine appointment. It
Yeah,
sounds like to
yes,
me that God
yes.
said, check that out on the TV,
For
and you
sure.
ordered it.
Yep.
What does
sure.
Christ mean to you today, and how are you getting by physically today? Those two things.
He's my life. I am focused on his spiritual desire to get people to become part of his family.
Okay.
And I'm doing well. I am progressing in Christ, and I'm progressing in my recoveries, and I believe that my whole recovery has been different stages of God's plan for
Right.
me, for my life. I believe I was called to suffer this injury to bring Him glory and honor.
Would you change your future?
No.
You'd have gone through the accident.
Yeah, for sure. Because if the accident didn't happen, I would be dead or in prison, for sure.
Because of the past lifestyle.
Yes. Yeah.
I see here as we sit. I see your chair has some rubbing in the drywall. I see every.
Yeah.
How long have you been sitting at this table?
I moved in here in 2010, August 2010, and I've been progressing in the Lord and spiritual resources for about 13 years.
Okay. This table means a lot to you.
Yes, yeah. And
Why?
because it helps me to realize the spiritual importance of this life and preparing me for the life to come.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that, I see all the verses.
Yeah, yeah,
I know you've been through that. I know your word. I know you've been here. Has Christ been worth it?
absolutely, for sure. I would not change anything.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
Regardless of your condition, do you have joy in your heart?
absolutely.
What happened to bitterness, resentment, and anger?
It all left me when I became reborn in
Was that a
Christ.
relatively quick?
No,
It had some struggle for a little bit.
yeah, it took some time. But when I became reborn around February 15th of '99, it was like my eyes were opened and I was aware of sin, and it grieved me
Right.
inside. And I progressed in Christ. I moved up here in 2001, and I've been a member at the natatorium, a local gym, for about 23 years or so, and it's been renewing, and I am extremely thankful.
It's 2023.
Yeah.
How many years have you been in this condition?
Going on 26. April
26
1st.
years. I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Sure.
Do you, relationally with a woman, thinking about dating somebody, has this put a crimp into that?
Um. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the reason I ask that is Christ still the main emphasis in your life, regardless of
Absolutely.
having companionship or not?
Absolutely.
So you get your companionship then from him, I take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I know that from my standpoint, as I look at you, and I know a young man at, how old were you?
I was 24 when this happened.
But at 24, I know that there had to be some issues of overcoming that
Yeah.
in all this too.
Yeah.
I guess if you had to conclude where we're at today, what happened with your dad? Well, you mentioned
Oh
though,
yeah.
before we go with that, you mentioned you had cancer though
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I was diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma July 19th, 2014. And I went in for surgery on August 16th, September 16th, 2014, and had they removed my left kidney,
Right.
and the tumor was over 11 centimeters long.
Okay.
And then I went through another CT scan 3 months after that, no sign of cancer. Then I went through another CT scan 3 months after the first one, and they found a little circle of cancer on my right lower lung. So I
Okay.
went in and had that removed August 28th, 2014.
So physically things have calmed down. You're now in really a rehabilitation stage. You're
Yeah.
working to get more mobility.
Yeah, for sure.
I mentioned your dad. What happened to your dad?
He passed away on May 6th, 2001. But we were up here. My mother and I were up here for a few months, and he called me one evening, and he was saying that he was very proud of me and my recovery, and he was proud to call me his son.
Wow.
And he blamed himself for the accident,
Right.
and he started to cry. And when I heard this, I felt like all the anger and the hateful feelings I had for him left me, and I was able to forgive him.
Wow. How about your mom? What happened with your mom?
She was here. She passed away on December 27th, 2005.
Okay.
But she sacrificed her life for mine, and I love her with all my heart. I will continue to honor and praise.
Is there anything that you'd like to finish with?
I'd like to state that I've discovered that the most important thing in this life is becoming reborn and renewing their heart and their spiritual connection to Christ. And if you do that, if you invite him in to your heart and receive him, John 1:12. Yet to all those who received him, to all those who believed in his holy name, he gave them the right and the power to become the children of God. If you receive him, he will change your life and change your motives, your spiritual direction
Okay.
from death to life.
So the key on that is to ask Christ into your heart and into your life
Absolutely.
and accept him as Lord and Savior.
Yes.
Is that your desire for everybody that looks at your track?
Absolutely.
We just had Michael share his testimony. You're going to read the track. The question for you is, once you read it, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And Michael says, this is what you need to do. What do you need to do?
You need to invite Jesus Christ into your heart, and if you do this, he will reveal his love to you in amazing ways.
Yeah. All right.
Powerful.
Well, there we go. All right, Michael. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Marshall.